Thought I'd share what I'm doing. I'm going to be doing ready-to-eat taco meat. So I'm going to be using venison. You don't have to have venison. I just have venison, so I'm using it. You want to use like a lean. I'm also using lean ground beef. I want 5 pounds. So I'm using 4 pounds of venison and a pound of ground beef. Or if you have just 5 pounds of venison, go for it. Or 5 pounds of lean ground beef. The other ingredients here: some onions, some peppers, and some black olives. If you don't want to use black olives, you just need a cup. If you don't want the black olives, I know a lot of people don't like olives. You can just increase half a cup of peppers and half a cup of onions, or a cup more peppers, or a cup more of onions, something like that. But don't put anything else in it unless you know that it's safe for canning. And there's an awful lot of spices into the taco mix, so I'll be going over each one of them, and in the description I'll have all the exact amounts that you need for the recipe so that you can make this too. So the very first thing I want to do is I'm going to get the onions and the peppers chopped up here. And I think I only need 2 cups of onions, and I only need 1.5 cups of peppers. So I'm not going to need all of that. So I'm going to go ahead and clean these up and chop them up and make sure that I have the right amount here. 1.5 cups of chopped green pepper. Now I need 2 cups of chopped onions. I added 2 cups of chopped onions. And there's a cup of chopped black olives. Meat, and I'm just going to brown it all up and put it in a bowl here. I apologize to anyone that, is upset that I'm eating, wild game. It's just something that people do in my area, and it's a part of the culture here. And I don't see any different than eating other meats, I guess. I think it's more responsible, actually. And I'm just browning it up. This is what ground venison looks like. It's very much like beef. It's just a lot drier. But I'm just going to brown this up, and then I'm going to add it over here. I'm going to add a bunch of spices. So I'm going to add a tablespoon of salt and a tablespoon of sugar, a teaspoon of black pepper, tablespoons of ground cumin, tablespoon of paprika, a spoon of dried oregano, or dried oregano if you like to call it that, 2 teaspoons of crushed red pepper. This is optional, I just like mine a little spicy. Garlic powder, tablespoons of chili powder. And I'm just going to mix this together and set it aside. The beef broth here, I'm going to open it up. I'm going to pour just a little bit here in the pan. That's good. I'm doing that because I don't want to be using any added oil to the recipe. And then I'm going to just dump in all the vegetables. Okay, now that they have been cooking for about a minute or so, I'm going to go ahead and add the ground meat and spice mixture. I'm just stirring this all together really good, mixing it really well. Here's what it looks like. Now that it's done, I'm going to fill up each of the jars to where the rim is, which is about 1 inch. I'm just going to scoop it, put it in there. Try not to make too much of a mess. A little bit more. That's good. And I'm just going to keep doing that for all the jars. I didn't make a mess everywhere. I know, I've seen people, you put a little dish around your, you set this in a little dish to collect your mess and everything. I'm not that clean of a person, obviously. And now the last part is really easy. Beef broth here. Just pour it in here. I have a little chopstick or here, whatever you want to use to debubble. See, it really settles down when you pour liquid in. Please do not try to do this with dry canning because it's just not considered very safe. If you're going to be doing this, you should at least try to be safe at it so that, for one, you won't be paranoid and be like, did all this work and then be like, oh, I can't eat it. Because I know a lot of people, when they first start canning, they can a bunch of stuff and then they won't eat it because they're afraid to. So don't do that to yourself. Practice safe canning and you won't have to be scared. Here they are, all filled up with the broth. You can see they look pretty good. So now I'm going to take some vinegar and a clean cloth here, and I'm going to wipe all the rims here nice and clean so that they'll seal really well. So I'm just gonna wipe around the edges here, make sure they're nice and clean. There's nothing on there. Okay, so I'm using the Tatler lids, so I have to get some out of some hot water here, the ring and or the seal together, and put them on like a regular lid. And then when I go to do the ring, I don't do it all as tight. I just do a little looser. They're all in the canner. I have it turned on. I'm just gonna put the lid on and wait for it to heat up. Okay, it's steaming, so I'm gonna time it for 10 minutes. Okay, it's vented. I can go ahead and put the weight on and wait for it to come up to pressure. Once it does, then I will just count down for 75 minutes if it's pints. 90 minutes if you're doing quarts. Timer's gone off, so I'm just going to turn down the heat. Once all the pressure comes all the way down, this comes down everything, I can take the weight off. Okay, the pressure is all the way down, so I'm going to go ahead and take this off. And I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes. I'm going to take the lid off here. Okay, here they are. I tried to record me taking them out, but I guess I didn't hit the button, so. But if you want to see me take them out and tighten lids down, I have plenty of videos doing that. Here they are. It's quite messy in here. Hopefully tomorrow they'll be all sealed. Actually, if one is in, I'll be able to eat it right away, and I think since I use the Tatler lids, that's one reason why I chose to use these. I have other ones too, but if I want to open one of these up right away, I don't want to waste a lid, because I might want to open up one right away just to show you what it's like and eat it. And if one doesn't seal, I can do that too. Okay, it's the next day. I washed them all up because there was a little siphoning and they were all greasy and gross. I had to wash them all up real good. But they all sealed up, really nice. Okay, I put the rest away, and this one here, I'm going to open up and heat it up and eat it. So, I'm going to just open it up here. And I'm just going to dump it right here in this bowl. Here we go. It's pretty good. I think I better wrap this up and put it away, otherwise I'll end up eating the whole thing.